Very serious. You want to use a bit of a high octave of voice there, right? Welcome to.
Are you?
She doesn't know what she's doing. All right, here we go. 3, 2, compose there. Kim, you say action.
Okay. And action.
Welcome to.
Are you?
Okay.
With
Ari.
and Kev.
Ari, what has been your experience with mental illness, brain health, brain diseases? How has your life been ripple affected by such potentially devastating situations, life situations?
Right. So I lost my older brother, Alex, to suicide in 2008, and that kind of began the ripple effect for my own struggles with mental illness. I struggled severely with depression, with anxiety. I was suicidal, and it took really up until about 6 or 7 years after my brother's death by suicide that I started to realize I can live with this mental illness, that I can live a good life, not just I can survive, but I really can have a great life and be excited and enjoy life. So it's definitely not been an easy journey, but certainly the ripple effect of my brother's suicide and then my own depression, the ripple effect that has had with my own family, my friends, my ability to be involved in things, my willingness to be involved in things. It's definitely shaped my life, and I'm thankful for the hope that I've found through it. While I wish that I, of course, didn't have to experience that, I am extremely thankful for the hope that's come out of it.
And the hope that you now share with others.
Right.
I think being able to share a story in a public setting with as many people as possible has another effect of guiding other people to that light at the end of the tunnel. And when you're able to give back in that way, or at least do your best to try, and you see that effect occurring, and people come up to you and they say, that really affected my life, it changed my perspective, your story saved my life, those are the kinds of things that help us do what we do, because it can be hard to talk about such painful times.
Absolutely. And I heard you say yesterday that it's the light at the end of the tunnel that I know is there, even if I can't see it, because I've lived it now. And that really resonates with me as well, because I know there's a light at the end of the tunnel, right? Because I've lived it. I'm getting to live in the light. And so when I'm in the darkness, I know that there's light, and I have to keep living through the darkness. And I have to bring people alongside me and say, look, I'm in the darkness. I know that there's light. Can you help me get there? Can you hold my hand until I am?
And that's one of the keys, is asking for help in the worst of times, as opposed to believing that you're a burden,
right,
and not asking at all. But if people are going to ask for help, the people listening have to actually know how to give it.
Exactly.
What would you say is your biggest hurdle when living in the depression?
I would say my biggest hurdle is when the depression comes in, it makes me not want to do the things that I know will make me well, because depression says they're not going to work, even though I know in my heart they work. Hello, I'm living every day because of those tools, right? Lots of sleep, drinking plenty of water, exercising, eating well, besides the 2 bowls of cereal I had this morning. Sometimes we fall off the wagon, okay? So, but besides those things, the depression says, you don't want to do those things. They don't really work, and you're not worth putting in the effort to actually do them. And so I'd say that's the biggest hurdle, is to overcome the separation between my head and my heart, where my heart is saying, you are worth it, this life is worth living, and these things do work, get your butt to the gym. Whereas the depression up here, this separation, my depression is telling me, it's not worth it, don't get in your car. Why would you get in your car? If you get in your car, you could just wreck it and die. That'd be much easier than going to the gym, right? So it's this constant battle between this short amount of space here. And I'd say that's my biggest hurdle, is to be able to, using what I know in my heart, make my head think logically when my brain is sick.
And there's one of the most important things you just said. Think logically when my brain is sick. So separating these thoughts that you are a bad person, these thoughts that you are a burden, these thoughts that you are not worthy, from the action that occurs when someone gets so depressed and thinks of suicide. Separating your thoughts from your action and always returning to logic.
Right.
Not necessarily the song, which is great, but that's not what we're talking about.
Right.
Returning to logic in the sense that you have to be able to recognize in the pain that depression, suicidal ideations, thoughts and actions, and all that aggression that comes from depression, they are in a distorted reality.
Absolutely.
Logic states that you do deserve to live, that you are a good person, that you hold value, and that you matter. And when we lose logic and we lose hope, once we lose hope, we lose purpose. If we lose purpose, suicide becomes an option. So making sure that when thoughts come in, that you talk to someone who you know loves you, who you know can empathize with your situation, who you know has got your back.
And that doesn't mean that once we're in a place of recovery, oh, we're ready. The
All
story
better.
I just told happened maybe a month ago, and I'm very much in recovery. I don't think of myself as being in a severe state of depression. I don't have thoughts of suicide. But that doesn't mean I can get out of bed and show up every morning and it's easy. So just think, you never know how hard someone might have worked to get to where they are, both physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all of those things. When I show up to class, it's taken a lot for me to get there. And I think for me to be able to maintain empathy for other people, like, why isn't she participating in this? Why is she dressed that way? Because, that's rude. Well, you know what? It might be a big freaking deal that she showed up.
And sometimes all we need to do is show up. And just be, just live, just exist, no pressure, no struggle, no expectation. In hearing you talk about this, we've had this journey here in Ireland with the team. My wife, Margaret Hines, Kip St. John, Lauren Green, my best friend Jake Lewis was here for a bit. He was pretty much a goofball. But we've had this time here, and we've changed some plans. Things haven't gone the way a lot of us thought they may have. Meetings haven't happened that were supposed to. Meetings happened that we didn't know were happening. So a lot of change in a short amount of time. How have you been coping with all that?
Honestly, I had prepared myself before coming. Look, I don't need to have any expectations other than to expect not to know what's going on. And so, but really, which sounds silly, and I literally have scheduled times of spontaneity. Like on Tuesday at 7, I'm gonna be spontaneous, and we don't have to make any plans, and if they change 5 times, that's fine. That's what I tell myself over and over. It's fine, it's fine. Yeah. But honestly, on this trip, it's been nice because the community is so uplifting. If I wanted to sleep in and I didn't feel like I could make it to the meeting, I slept right there on that couch.
There's a couch over there.
Oh yeah.
Just in case you can't.
Slept on it all night. If I feel like, you know what, I need to sleep for an extra 20 minutes and I'll meet you guys at the meeting a little bit late, I have the freedom to do that because my mental health is valued. And this shouldn't be unique. It shouldn't be unique that I have to come on a trip with mental health advocates and people who work in the world of suicide prevention in order to have that kind of community. And I think that's a responsibility that we can all take upon ourselves, because maybe I'm not creating that community outside of this one. You know, I'm certain there are things that I can do better to ask people, how's your brain? My boyfriend will ask me, how's your brain feeling? Or do you feel well? And that's the greatest question I think anyone could ask me. And that's why I'm okay. And that's why I've been okay on this trip, is because I know I can come to any of these people and say, my brain doesn't feel good. I'm hurting. I'm sick. I help. And so if the plans change, okay, because I'm in this tight-knit community that if I need to walk outside and do jumping jacks or 25 burpees and head back inside, that's okay. And I think that speaks a lot for the progress that we have to make as a community, meaning the whole world.
As a nation, as all the people of this earth, you know, recognizing that they have the ability to help change the course of someone's day, potentially their life, just by being kind, empathetic, and compassionate. One last thing I want to chat with you about, because we all have support networks that we love and care and appreciate or have built. Some of us haven't built them yet, but there's time. I certainly have my wife, my family, and my friends, and my family of the Suicide Prevention Network, and everybody here that's on this trip. But can you tell us a little bit about how Randy, you mentioned your boyfriend, Randy helps you in his own way. How does Randy have a positive effect on your life and your mental well-being?
Oh, how long do I have?
The next 3 hours.
Yeah.
So when we met, he hadn't really thought about mental illness much because he didn't really have a reason to. And so one of the huge ways in which he helps me is to just ask questions. And they're very intentional questions. Like I said, hey, how's your brain feeling? And that's a question that for someone who really has never been exposed to suicide prevention or mental health education, that's huge. For him to recognize, and you know, he'll sometimes make comparisons and say, you know, I've torn both ACLs and had a spiral fracture in one of my legs. So I've had 3 knee surgeries. That's the same as you. Why are you beating yourself up? It's no different. Like, I've torn both ACLs. Your brain has been sick. Why are you letting yourself get down? I have to still get up and walk every day because my knees have been fixed. Does that mean that it's any easier? No, I still have to work at it. I still have to be careful. You know, I have to take measures. I have to wear my knee braces when we go skiing and look like a buffoon. But that's okay because your brain health is just as important. And so I think for like this athlete guy who had no reason, well, everyone has a reason, okay, but before me really hadn't been exposed to anyone with a diagnosable mental illness, I think that's huge for him to just make those connections and normalize it, because it is normal.
It's synonymous. Mental health. It should, as one of our first ladies, Rosalind Carter, always said, it's just health.
Yes.
Put it together, add the 2 pieces together, they're one and the same, and treating people who suffer mentally the same way you would treat someone with broken leg, broken arm, liver, lung, or kidney cancer. It's crucial. It's crucial to give people the respect they deserve when they're battling the mental pain of any kind, and not judging them for being different. We've all got issues. Clearly, we've got issues, and that's okay. It sounds like Randy's a great support for you. That's a really beautiful thing. High five to Randy.
Yeah, Rand.
That's for you, Randy. Maybe you're the only one that sees this video. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right, you guys. This has been Are You Okay?
With Ari.
And Kev.
Thanks so much.
Sayonara.